Okay, here we are at Outrigger Canoe Club today. It's Thursday morning. I'm with Cory Hill, the winner from 2015 and world champion in 2015, and had a bit of a demise last year in the race while he'd almost finished, and we'll get onto that later. How are you feeling, Cory? You fit?
Yeah, I feel really fit actually. It's one of those things. This time of season, it's quite hard to predict where you are at. It's a lonely summer in Australia where you're racing only the Australians. And the last time I raced, the guys like your Sean Rice, your Hank McGregor's, Jasper Mock is the doctor last year, or Hong Kong. So it is interesting to sort of you've really got to know where you're at and be honest with yourself. But you just really do hope to get on that line knowing that you've done everything that you can do leading up to this one, because it's 52k. It's at an inconvenient time of the season. You'd rather sort of build up into it, but that being said, it's also a 52k race. It's one of the most prestigious, and it's one to win. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And this is a great setup for then world titles for you, I'm assuming, and Doctor and the North American races. Are you doing some of that stuff?
Unfortunately, this year I won't be. I'll be doing Tahiti. Head across to Tahiti this year in September, and round the season up, I guess, in November with the Doctor, with the Worlds in Hong Kong, and you've got your Palm Pines, and that's when the Australian series really does kick off.
Yep. Okay. Great. So tell us about what happened last year.
Last year was difficult, I guess. It was.
I will interject a little bit initially. You were leading.
Yes.
And so he was leading the race. We're not got long to go. I think I'd heard you had maybe a minute or more in front.
Yeah, that's what I've been told.
Yep. Okay. So tell the story.
It was quite strange, I guess. I just going into the race, it was predicted to be dead flat, sort of like this weekend, and. Come 25, like that halfway mark, 25-30k mark, I sort of just felt really good, and it was definitely the three of us out in front. So it was Hank, Sean, and myself. And Hank and myself pulled away from Sean, and I thought, here we go. If I can stick with the world marathon champ for as long as I can, that'd be something to brag about. So off we've gone, and all of a sudden I started to pull away, and Dean was on my escort boat telling me, you've got 80 metres, you've got 100 metres, this is how far you are in front. And I think by the end there, he was telling me I was about 300, 400 metres in front. And coming around Hawaii Kai, China Walls, I've just taken this one runner, and in my head, just being a competitor, I thought, if you hold this one as far as you can, you've got this race wrapped up. It's all over. So I was putting in the hard yards, taking it as far as I can, and as it goes, I took it probably 20, 30 metres too far, went around the corner, and the reef just popped up in front of me. I went, shit, what do I do here?
Yep.
I've waited for the next wave to come through and just lift the boat up. So as the boats come up, actually, it's not the funny thing, I guess, because it hurts a little bit, but funny thing is, the whole ski, not a scratch. It's just the rudder that hit the reef. The rudder went up into the ski, and it was that bad that I guess I was pretty fatigued by that stage. It was 3-4 hours into the race. I'm trying to pull it back. Dean jumped off the boat. He was trying to pull it back, and he goes, look, mate, you're just going to have to try finish like it is. Got back in the boat. This is after I've seen Hank paddle past, Sean paddle past, Clint paddle past, Jasper paddle past. I thought I was probably still scratching for a fifth here, and I've done one big circle. I'm just going, you know what, I think this is it. That's 50 Ks, so I'll wrap it up here. But I guess it was the most disappointing thing was I sort of almost counted myself out in the morning, having not get the win that you thought that you were going to get, and I really surprised myself on the day. Sort of proved a lot to myself, and it would have been really good to have, I guess, finished that race and just sort of go, oh, you know what, you actually are okay in that flat stuff over that 3.5-4 hours. But unfortunately, we'll have to wait till this weekend to see if I can actually round up a 52k race rather than just 50.
Well, that'll give you confidence. Last year would give you confidence for this year.
100%.
You don't know where you're at, but
No, exactly. Yeah. It's one of those things. A race is a race. I love being out there, and rain, hail, shine, win, no win. I just love racing. That's one of the best things about this sport is the ocean is unpredictable. You've got to respect it for whatever it produces, because there's been weeks where you're just not expecting to get any wind. It pops up. You've also got days where it's predicted to be 30 knots and you get out there and it's glassy. So you've just got to realistically deal with what's thrown your way and do the best of what you can and just give it the respect I guess it deserves.
It's still, even if it's flat, it's still beautiful water, and you can still, in some of the years it's been flat, if there's a bit of groundswell you can still catch some stuff. So
100% out here, it's just such deep ocean. It's actually beautiful. It's hard not to get distracted and look up at these mountains and look down at this deepest dark blue water. It's so beautiful, but you've also got to get past that on race day and make it hurt.
Yeah, definitely. Just one last question that's not related to the race, but a few years back, watching you race, and you were paddling really, really well, but you're getting thirds and fourths and all, which is still fantastic. And then it was a real turnaround. I think 2015. You won Molokai, then you won the World Championships. I think, did you win the Doctor?
Yeah, I got that one too.
Yeah, won it all. And so the World Series and everything. And what was the turnaround? What was there a significant thing you did, or?
It's a hard one. I've actually thought this myself and tried to sort of, I guess, replicate that the last 2 years leading into this race, because it's obviously something that you want to learn from and go, okay, that worked. Let's move forward on that. And I put it back to that year. I did change from Epic to Fen, and I got to train a lot with. I got to race a lot with my mate Michael Booth, and just travelling with your best mate made a huge difference. And travelling with Dean's so laid back. I don't know if you've all heard the story. There was in 2015, just before the Molokai that I ended up taking out. We didn't get our boats until the Friday night before the Saturday morning race. It was stressful, and Dean just made it so easy, I guess. He was sitting there going, you know what, it's going to work out. And started telling me, I've had years where I've won Molokai where you did no paddling before it, and I don't know, it was just really stress-free, and I think that had a lot to do with it. And on the other side of it, I think it is just maturity. Like, I got to 26 at that stage, and I think just those 2 or 3 years before that, like you're saying, of getting those thirds and seconds, you're giving these guys a lot of respect that they deserve, but you never picture yourself as one of them until one day you get this might be a little bit of grunt behind you, and just a bit more. It is just maturity to sort of go, actually, no, I've done a lot of training and I deserve to win this one. And you put your nose forward a couple of times, and it might not quite pay off, and you get those seconds and thirds. But one day it's going to come through. And you've got guys back home. I relate to Mako Heinard, who's awesome at the moment. He's training really well, and it's just one of those things. One day he'll realise, hang on, I'm sticking with Cory at training, and he's been doing okay. Yeah. Why can't I take that next step? And I think once it's not loses respect for those other competitors, but it just puts himself on that same pedestal, he'll start to do really well as well. So
once you feel like you belong, it makes a big difference.
Huge. And you see it in all sports. You see Shannon Eckstein that just carries on winning, and you've got a lot of other guys that want to take that mantle from him, take that podium position, but there's not many that do. No. All right, well, thanks for that, Cory. It was great. Thank you very much. Good luck for the race. You're flying the Aussie flag, and being an Aussie, I'll say it. Thank you very much. Have a go, mate. That was awesome talking. Great. Thank you.